Hi, this is Skye, your soulful progressive with FNN-Feminist News Network. That feminist news, you know it's right for you. Welcome to Skye in the Pagoda Room, giving you that soulful news you need. Baby, it's time for you to listen indeed. And what is it I want to talk to you about today? What is going on? Let me tell you what's going on. Yesterday, September the 1st, 2025, was the 143rd celebration of Labor Day. That's right, it was created in 1882, signed in as a federal holiday by Chester A. Arthur, who was president from 1881 to 85 due to the fact that Garfield was shot, but it was created out of the trade labor movement in the trade labor unions. It's J.P. McGuire who was given credit for putting it on the first Monday of every September. And though we celebrated with Canada around the world, the rest celebrated on May Day. And the trade unions and the labor union movement is what gave you your 40-hour work week that most people don't even recognize and take for granted, and stopping labor child laws, no child labor, and giving you a weekend. And by the 1950s, we had a middle class. And we were 50% union. What are we now? We are 10% union in the USA, and the middle class is disappearing. So what we need to do is recognize, get back that fire and that desire to fight for our rights as workers, because workers' rights are human rights. And it's not said no better than when it was mentioned on Democracy Now! With Howard Zinn's Voices of a People's History of the United States that was done more than 20 years ago at an MLKY in New York. Now, I want you to hear from out of the mouths of the late, great James Earl Jones and the still awesome actress Alfre Woodard speak as Mothers Jones and hear from their words from these strong people like Howard Zinn, and hear their words, what they had to say during the time that made the movement great, when there was blood, sweat, and tears going on to create what we now have forgotten, but we must get back again, because if we don't, they're going to beat us on the head like they did back then. Now, I want you to take a listen, and then we're going to discuss real quick and end this.
The late great actor James Earl Jones reads from Howard Zinn's People's History of the United States.
My viewpoint in telling the history of the United States is that we must not accept the memory of states as our own. Nations are not communities and never have been. The history of any country, presented as the history of a family, conceals a fierce conflict of interest. And in such a world of conflict, a world of victims and executioners, the job of thinking people, as Albert Camus suggested, is not to be on the side of the executioners. Thus, in that inevitable taking of sides, which comes from selection and emphasis in history, I prefer to tell the story of the discovery of America from the viewpoint of the Arawaks, of the Constitution, from the standpoint of the slaves, of the rise of industrialism as seen by the young women in the Lowell textile mills, the conquest of the Philippines as seen by black soldiers on Luzon, the post-war American empire as seen by peons in Latin America, and so on, to the limited extent that any one person, however he or she strains, can see history from the standpoint of others. My point is not to grieve for the victims and denounce the executioners. Those tears, that anger, cast into the past, deplete our moral energy for the present. And the lines are not always clear. In the long run, the oppressor is also a victim. In the short run, the victims themselves, desperate and tainted with the culture that oppresses them, turn on other victims. Still, understanding the complexities, this book will be skeptical of governments and their attempts through politics and culture to ensnare ordinary people in a giant web of nationhood pretending to a common interest. I will try not to overlook the cruelties that victims inflict on one another as they are jammed together in the boxcars of the system. I don't want to romanticize them, but I do remember, in rough paraphrase, a statement I once heard. The cry of the poor is not always just, but if you don't listen to it, you will never know what justice is.
In the year 1914, 1,000 miners with wives and children who had gone on strike against the Rockefeller-owned coal mines in southern Colorado were holding out in a tent colony near the tiny hamlet of Ludlow. One day in April, the National Guard, financed by Rockefeller, began pouring machine gun fire into the tent colony and then came down from the hills and set fire to the tents. The next day, the bodies of 11 children and 2 women were found, suffocated, burned to death. This became known as the Ludlow Massacre. Mother Mary Jones, 82-year-old organizer for the mine workers, had come to Colorado to support the miners, and on the eve of their strike, as they gathered in the Opera House in Trinidad, she spoke to them.
What would the coal in the mines be worth if you did not work to take it out? The time is ripe for you to stand like men. I know something about strikes. I didn't go into them yesterday. I was carried 84 miles and landed in jail by a United States Marshal in the night because I was talking to a miners' meeting. The next morning I was brought to court and the judge said to me, "Did you read my injunction? Did you understand that the injunction told you not to look at the miners? As long as the judge who is higher than you leaves me sight, I will look at anything I want to," said I. The old judge died soon after that, and the injunction died with him. At another time, when in the courtroom, the bailiff said to me, "When you are addressing the court, you must say your honor." "I don't know whether he has any or not," said I. Someone said to me, "You don't believe in charity work, Mother?" "No, I don't believe in charity. It is a vice. We need the upbuilding of justice to mankind. We don't need your charity. All we need is an opportunity to live like men and women in this country. I want you to pledge yourselves in this convention to stand as one solid army against the foes of human labor. Think of the thousands who are killed every day and there is no redress for it. We will fight until the mines are made secure and human life valued more than props. Look things in the face. Don't fear a governor. Don't fear anybody. You pay the governor. He has a right to protect you. You are the biggest part of this population, the biggest part of the population in this state. You create its wealth. So I say, let the fight go on. If anybody else, nobody else will keep on. I will."
That was Alfre Woodard.
I know you know. I know you know. And these people aren't going to put up with it. I don't want to put up with. I know you heard it. And I know you heard about all the people that were martyred and sacrificed so you could have a 40-hour work week. And the sacrifice shouldn't stop. It needs to keep going, or we're going to let Trump take away collective bargaining rights. I know the federal workers are going to fight for it because he just can't put it up on Truth Social and make it so. He would love to get rid of unions and all the people that voted for him thinking he was for the working man when he ain't working for nothing but his Zionist friends. The biggest Zionist president we've had since Biden. Now, think about that. Mm-hmm. Leave your comments below and let me know what you think about Venezuela. Or contact me at FeministNewsN@gmail.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel and that Facebook page. And remember, I'm that Soulful Progressive. One on Twitter, got that rant. Oh, I'm that Soulful Progress one on X. And I got the rant of the day on Blogger. So, check them out. And if you care to help out the one-woman team, you know that Skye, Soulful Progressive at Venmo. Just email me and I'll let you know how. All right. So we got to remember, during this era of hate, we better participate so we can have more sovereign countries not to be taken over by racists, colonists, Zionists, destroyers of humanity. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. Peace.